everyone for being here today. Over the years, one of the partnerships that we have had that I think is a huge resource to members, and so I really encourage people to really use this resource, is Square One. And Square One has the ability to take some macro information, primarily from StatsCan and some other sort of databases that are out there, and uses it to help businesses to achieve some of their goals and objectives. And I'll just use this as an example, and then I'm going to turn it over because this isn't my presentation and I really don't know what I'm talking about. And that would be, okay, so you want to start up a hair salon in the Cathedral area. Well, how many hair salons are there right now? And what is the average income of the people that are in that area? That kind of information, which is critical in terms of opening up a retail shop or a salon. Anyways, I'm going to turn it over to you, Ms. Ong. So if you could take it away, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Thanks so much, John. Hi, everyone. My name is Jenelyn. I am the manager of entrepreneurship at Regina, overseeing the Square One Small Business Services Program. So as John mentioned, the purpose of Square One is we do help and assist entrepreneurs in the starting and operating and growing of their business. And we help entrepreneurs across Saskatchewan. So definitely if there's anyone out there who have any questions or need help or need market research that John had mentioned, definitely reach out to me afterwards and we can help you out that way. So I do have a PowerPoint presentation here that I'd like to share. So I'm gonna go and do that right now. And then we can get started. And just make sure. Okay, does everyone see the where to next for your business? Fantastic. All right. Okay. So let's get started. Happy Friday Eve. We like to say that every Thursday because we know it's almost the weekend. Thanks again to everyone for joining me today. A little fun fact about me, just to get things started, is that I actually used to live in Regina with my family. We were there for about 6.5 years. We moved back to Saskatoon in 2012 because our families are both from here. My daughter was actually born at the Regina General Hospital, so I have very fond memories of the city there. During that time, I was a stay-at-home mompreneur. I might have dated myself by using that term, but I was raising my 2 young kids as I launched an online business. I left the business when we moved back to Saskatoon, but I still enjoy visiting the city every day, well, before the pandemic restrictions, that is. But I hope to visit again soon. All right, so I want to start things off by sharing a quote that I love. And it really speaks to the power of what it means to be resilient. So resiliency is on the mind of every business these days, right? It doesn't matter how big or how small you are. This pandemic has affected every company, good and bad, across all sectors. So what is resiliency? So according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, I had to get a definition, of course. My background is in marketing communications, so I'm very strict on that. Resiliency, it's the ability to recover from or adjust easily to adversity or change. One interesting thing I thought about this definition was the word easily. Right now, is it really going to be easy to bounce back from this pandemic? For many, it won't be, but based on what we're seeing in business trends, there are steps that you can take to help your business become more resilient and thrive as you shift into the next normal. So in my daily job, it's important that I keep on top of trends, assess the market, and uncover any gaps that need to be filled. So what I'm going to focus on today, as you can see on the screen there, are key insights from what's happening in Canada and also partly in the US, based on the industry reports and other market research databases that are part of the free services that we provide to entrepreneurs at Square One. This also includes some of the insights and trends that we're seeing face-to-face with entrepreneurs across Saskatchewan as well. And these five steps, they are all things that I'm confident that you can actually apply to your business. But it will be up to you to figure out which ones to prioritize. Now, you will notice that I have numbered them here, but keep in mind that they are not presented in any order of priority. I just like being organized. So let's start with the first insight. Going digital. So as you know, COVID-19 has accelerated the trend towards adopting new digital strategies. And this will continue to stay long after the restrictions are lifted and the pandemic is gone, or maybe not so much gone. But earlier I said that I was presenting this in no order of priority, but now I kind of take it back. If you only do one thing, the thing you need to do is you need to go digital, okay? And let me explain why. When I talk digital, what I mean is not only designing your infrastructure in the way that increases your efficiencies and resilience, so your business operations, right? But also adapting your business in a way that makes it sustainable for you and your clients. So investing in your digital infrastructure is crucial. Why? Because that is exactly where the market is going. COVID accelerated it. So it was already going there. We need to go there. Now's the time to go there and lay that foundation. So as you can see there, there's a couple areas there that you should be incorporating, or at least thinking about incorporating in terms of your digital strategy. In fact, according to Stats Canada, approximately 38% of businesses surveyed increased their virtual connections usage due to COVID-19. So it really does show that, you know, COVID did accelerate businesses going to that digital route. So how do you go digital? First, my recommendation is that you need to assess what products and service can be brought online. So for example, for product-based businesses, it's a no-brainer, sell your products online, right? But know that it is important to apply a multi-channel approach where you integrate your products and your messaging across various platforms. So one of the biggest trends that we're seeing right now is social commerce, right? Where the point of sale is happening right on the social media channels. So through Instagram, Facebook, all those kinds of things. It's no longer just about selling on your own website or even third-party sites like Amazon. It's about having that full approach, multiple channel approach, right? And making it convenient and easy for your customers, having several options to doing that. For service-based businesses, think about how you can offer the experience online. One well-known example of this is that dance studio offering online dance classes. Another example is fitness classes, right? Fitness classes being online in YouTube. So, but when you are assessing, the next thing you have to do though is you have to be selective, okay? You don't have to be in all those channels. It all really depends on a variety of factors such as your customers, your target audience, right? Your budget, and really your priorities and goals. So just like in your marketing strategy, you have to prioritize and choose the most relevant digital platforms that will increase efficiency and grow your business, right? So going digital is a game changer. If you haven't yet, you should be. And if you already are, and I'm sure a lot of you are, keep going and seeing what other platforms there are that can help increase efficiency. So whether it's for tracking inventory or selling your offerings or just streamlining your processes, now is the time to do it. And lastly, I've said this before, but it is very vital to go digital. This includes developing a solid online presence as well. So moving on to the next insight. So next, let's think customer first. Go back to marketing 101, right? The pandemic has brought about shifting habits and needs in the ways that we live and we work and we buy and all those habits there, all that behavior, consumer behavior as well. So every activity and function that can move online has, and it's still happening to this day. So not only do we want to engage safely, but we also want it to be convenient, right? That's what the customer's needs are. That's what we're thinking about. Think the customer first. So this graph is from a global research company, McKinsey Global Institute, and it shows the likelihood of which consumer behaviors will stick post-pandemic. So I just thought it was very interesting to show you some of the new behavior patterns that are likely to stay. So for example, as you can see, e-grocery, so buying, ordering your groceries online, picking it up or getting it delivered. Virtual healthcare is a big trend as well too. And what it really has done, COVID has done, is accelerated that trend to go digital and to go virtual. And I think that's going to stay. Sorry, that's going to stay. So, and then other things such as like entertainment, air travel, remote education, as it shows there. Right now, I mean, because of the restrictions, it has really interrupted the sector. But once those restrictions are lifted, those are the kinds of sectors that it'll probably go back to pre-pandemic levels. So when you think about your customer first, think back to their desires, their needs, their goals, their fears, those things that elicit an emotion or pain point that need to get solved, right? This is marketing 101. I know it's very basic here, but it's marketing 101. And many people still fail to remember, or worse, they never knew what their customers and clients want, along with what their real pain points were before. So, now's the time. Prioritize your customer service now more than ever. People are holding on to their hard-earned income, so businesses have to work even harder to earn that. So how can you put your client first? Ask them, right? Customers are facing different and new challenges brought on by the pandemic. So you need to figure out what their current pain points are in order to innovate your product or service, right? The next thing you do is you can then assess their needs. Assessing their needs will help you to come up with the solutions to their problems in potentially multiple ways, right? That's that offer you're going to give to them. And then all this leads to strengthening your relationship with your customers, making them more likely to buy from you, refer you to others, and then buy again. Again, marketing 101, but it's still that foundation is quite important and important to remember and continue that cycle, because like I said, customers' buying habits and behaviors, they have changed. So you need to ask them and find out what it is that they really need now. All right, so one of the key steps that you need in order to be resilient is you need to reimagine your business. You've heard it before, pivot, 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 right? That was a rush at the beginning of the pandemic, and reimagining your business is still a key step to staying resilient. One vital piece of that pivot puzzle is that businesses have to be agile. This is going to help you reimagine your business and adapt quickly, which is exactly what the pandemic helped accelerate. So taking you back to Stats Canada and their Canadian survey on business conditions, this graph illustrates the large percentage of businesses that pivoted in one way or another, both internally to remote teams and externally in terms of their product and service offerings, right? These agile companies, they're the ones that are going to be successful because they're the ones that are going to engage in a burst of innovation and that quick decision making. So what would normally take businesses 18 months to do was happening within 1 month or sometimes even less. That's resiliency, right? And that's something that you're going to take forward past the pandemic. So since the start of the COVID outbreak, I expect that some or many of you have had to reimagine your business, right? So for the most part, that's really why you need to innovate and reimagine and adapt. But post-pandemic, it's still important to be prepared and have a strategy in place to stay resilient. Some of the lessons that we're learning from the pandemic include innovations such as vertical blending, right? That's that entrepreneurial spirit that you guys are probably all familiar with, where companies have been pivoting within their sector in order to provide alternative value added or value-based offerings. So think the high-end restaurant who became a grocer, or the flower shop using an online booking system that was originally designed for a hair salon in order to schedule in-store visits. Whatever you do when you're reimagining your business, don't be afraid to change your business model, okay? You may just earn a new income stream. When you're reimagining your business, there's some things that you can consider. So number one, examine your products and services and see which ones are relevant and which ones are no longer relevant. This includes seeking new learning opportunities to help you come to a decision, right? Number two, refresh yourself by going back and putting your customers first and understanding really what it is that they desire and they need and what their expectations are. Again, it probably has changed, right? Because of the pandemic. So those insights will help you brainstorm new ideas to serve your clients. The third thing that you can consider is experiment. Experiment with tools, with services, with platforms to help determine how you can innovate, okay? You may just, like I said, end up turning your service into a product that you can sell. So one good example of this was a digital marketing consulting company that had, what they did was they created a service as a software tool. So that's what the SaaS is, that curates social media content and posts to social channels automatically. So a lot of their clients ended up buying this tool because of the fact they couldn't afford that consulting fee like they did before. So that's one of the ways that this company pivoted. Another key step to keeping to be resilient is making collaboration an important part of your business. So collaboration, as you all know, is vital for small business, right? We're lucky to live in a province where communities will thrive. And it's within a strong ecosystem of people and organizations that work together. So go ahead and leverage the support of your ecosystem business partners. And what do I mean by ecosystem business partners? I'm talking about your team. I'm talking about mentors. I'm talking about other entrepreneurs. And of course, I'm talking about business support organizations such as the Regina Chamber, EDR, Cultivator, University of Regina, all these organizations. Here you see some of the organizations that we do partner up with and collaborate on. So it's really important that we do work together to build entrepreneurship in the Regina region. And that's what you can do with your business as well. How can you collaborate with your ecosystem business partners? Well, here are some ideas to help you, okay? Number one, connect with other entrepreneurs, connect with organizations, discuss ideas, discuss challenges, discuss gaps, right? Number two, collaborate on projects. Everybody has levels of expertise that they can bring and really make that project come to life and make it audacious, right? Number three, consider pooling resources. Small businesses, maybe if you have a partner within the ecosystem that is also trying to source specific key ingredients or source ingredients for products, maybe pull your resources together so that you can get a better deal or a better options, better shipping, whatever it may be for your business. More things that you can do, seek out mentors, right? There's experts everywhere. Like I said, Saskatchewan's full of experts and mentors who are willing to help, this sense of community, right? Refer one another, right? Word of mouth is still number one when it comes to marketing your business. Not only that, you're helping build and grow the ecosystem and the economy. And lastly, support other business owners in their growth. So we've seen examples of this throughout the COVID pandemic where we're all supporting local, right? And very doing our best to help push that and really so that the businesses stay afloat right? So really support other business owners as much as you can. I feel like I'm breezing through this. Focus on well-being. This is a key thing. This is actually the last key point that I'm going to make. Mental well-being continues to be pushed to the forefront, and it's for a good reason. According to the Canadian Mental Health Association, 46% of people in Canada were experiencing anxiety or worry due to COVID-19, right? It's no wonder. I mean, a lot of us are remote. We're restricted as to what we can't do. We kind of lose some of that social aspect. But at the same time, there's ways that you can go about and focus on your well-being, and make sure that you have a balance. I wouldn't say it's an exact balance of work and life, but what it is, you're always counterbalancing and trying to figure out the right thing for you that day, especially within your business and also your personal life. So that well-being, that's a very key issue in terms of being resilient, because especially with entrepreneurs, right? It can be lonely sometimes, but definitely it's very important to keep that sense of self, and in the importance of focusing on yourself and your well-being. So in summary, you want to go digital. Going digital is a must-have game changer, okay? Make sure you think of your customers first, refresh on your understanding of their needs and benefits, and make sure that you adapt. Reimagine your business, okay? Don't be afraid to change your business model and to pivot. Make sure you collaborate with your ecosystem. Work together to thrive together. And focus on your well-being. It's about the whole self. And one last tip, I do want to let you know what we're seeing is that 2021 seems to be the year of cleanup and transition right now to a better 2022. So definitely use this time to lay the foundation for you to be agile, to transform into that digital strategy so that you can execute opportunities and grow. So I'm going to ask you, what are you planning to do to be resilient in the next normal? Don't everybody throw up their hands at once. I think it was rhetorical, but definitely if somebody has any answers.
I've got some questions for you. Thank you so much for your presentation. Appreciate that. I have a few questions. Let me look at the chat box first. If people have questions, put them in the chat box, please, and we'll go through them. But I have a few first of all. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about shop local programs, primarily in Saskatchewan, that type of thing. And how is a shop local program digitally? How can you effectively do a shop local program digitally?
I think the key there is the collaboration. In terms of having a central site, one thing you could do is having a central site where people can find all the shop local businesses. And then also just working together and promoting that, right? There's lots of ways, because building that online presence will also help build that business as well. So there are a couple of ways to do that, but definitely collaboration is key there. Did I answer your question there, John?
Yeah, that's good. How key is it when you're developing your sort of online plan to do some data mapping in terms of where you want your message to go, as opposed to letting it go to everything and everyone within a location?
Well, I mean, that's a foundation of your business right there, right? You need to know who your target audience is, where they are, who they are, what they are concerned about. And you need to know that. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I sell to everybody, but that's not the case, right? Yes, you can sell to everybody, but that doesn't, what you're doing there is you're throwing sort of money out the door, because you're just putting your advertising dollars everywhere, not knowing where your key and ideal customers are. So definitely knowing your target markets, your sub segments, and your buyer personas, that's going to help you really drive your business and really hone in on those key customers that will buy your products and services. So,
And I think if I can say this, I think one of what you do really, really well at Square One is help businesses define what that market actually is, as opposed to, well, I think it's this, but you actually have information that says, no, this is it, based
mhm.
on household income, that kind of thing. And am I correct?
Yes, definitely. We have a number of market research databases that we have access to, and that we provide free because of your tax dollars. But like certain things, certain research reports we have are things such as census profiles that go into demographics, such as age, gender, income, visible minority status, language, and also even potential or estimated household expenditures. So how much people spend within that. It could be as narrow as a neighborhood or as wide as the province on a specific item or sector, such as I'll just throw out there, bacon was one of them before. And I remember this was a long time ago. I mean, the information is going to be updated now with the new census. But I remember, I think the stat on bacon in Regina alone was over 2 billion in 1 year. So we can get really narrow in terms of that information there, so that you as a business will know how big the market is that you're targeting, and then you can help develop what percentage of that you can go after.
Now, the other thing, I'm kind of geeking out because I love this kind of stuff. But the other thing that I think you have access to is, I know that when you go on StatsCan, not that many people do, but I love to do that. You go on StatsCan and all of a sudden you hit it and it says, well, you have to pay. A lot of the times you already have access to that information and can answer the question and in a lot shorter time than somebody that doesn't use the system. Because StatsCan is a monster, really, unless you know how to use it. And you know how to use it way better than I do.
Yeah, we can definitely get that answer for you faster. And then also too, with our census demographic reports, it gets estimated up to like 2020 numbers now. Actually, we're at 2021 numbers now that it's being estimated based on Stats Canada information.
And a plug for Stats Canada, they are the best in the world. They are. They simply are. Okay, I see there's a question in the chat box. I'll get to that because I'll get right to it maybe after this question.
Okay.
So one thing that we've learned during the pandemic is there's a balance. There's a balance between needing to move quickly and knowing that you're probably going to make mistakes, but needing to move quickly to address the situation now versus no, let's wait, let's study it. And all of a sudden you've missed the mark totally because you've taken too long to study it. How important, or how, it's not easy to find a balance, I know that, but how important is it to try to at least get out there as quick as you can?
Mm-hmm. I think right now, because of the pandemic, you have to get it out there quickly, and it's better, in my opinion. It does depend on your sector and your business, but in my opinion, it's better to go out there and try it, test it. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, go back and fix it again. Because you got to be moving in and out. You got to be really agile, especially at this time. But at the same time too, you probably also have an idea as to what will work based on what you've seen in the past, and then also based on potentially some market research that you already have in place from your business plan, right?
Yeah.
So
what I've seen, and I shouldn't be saying this, but talking like this, but what I've seen is governments do have the ability to move hyper quickly if they really need to. And that's one of the things I've learned during the pandemic. So this whole thing, well, we have to study it all to death, is something that we'll take forward and remember, although they'll probably still study it to death. But anyways, let's move on to the question that's in the chat box. And it says, I love your comments about wellness and a focus on taking care of yourself. Very important. We are hearing reports that female entrepreneurs are disproportionately impacted by school shutdowns, yes, etc. Any thoughts about how female entrepreneurs and business owners can support each other?
I mean, there's a lot of organizations there, like for example, WESC, that you can reach out to. They have some groups where you can gather together and meet and network, and even have just evening events where you collect ideas just talking about that connection, right, piece. I mean, also, I think women are very great at friendships. So just going out there and finding other entrepreneurs and just catching up with them in terms of the challenges you face, you're going to find that you're going to have that support system as well in that way.
And I shouldn't do this because it's not a paid political announcement, but I'll say it anyways. A national daycare program would probably help a lot of people, a lot of women, and a lot of families. And look forward to hopefully seeing that happen. It's been talked about since, probably talked about for decades, but I can remember it was part of the Liberal Red Book or something in '93 or something like that. So, okay, I'll go to the next question here is understanding risk and how vital it is to understand risk. And the way I would put that is to say, okay, let's use the salon again. I want to open a salon because that's my thing. I want to cut hair and all of that. And then there's a risk to doing that. There's a risk to any business. How important is it to sort of understand the risk or have calculated risk by understanding the market versus just going on there because it's what I love to do. And by the way, when we do sort of focus groups on businesses, and we used to do quite a few of them, we still do them. One of the questions I would always ask business people is, why do you do what you do? And the number one answer by far is, I love to do what I do. That's what I do. I don't necessarily understand business. So anyways, back to this calculated risk thing that you really help with.
I think if you're going out there and just starting a business or even expanding your business without any knowledge or background or market research, you're going in blind. You're going in blind. So it's important to know what the risks are. You may not necessarily know in detail what every single challenge may be or risk that there would be, but definitely it's important to know something. And that's how we can help you out in terms of that market research side of things. And also just letting you know, we get insights and we hear things of what's happening up and coming within the business community as well too. So we don't, things that are confidential stay confidential, but when we know, okay, there's a new area that's happening outside of Regina and they're going to be developing a manufacturing plant, we know that's up and coming, that would be a good insight to know. Because if it affects your business positively or negatively, that's something that you need to know in order to determine how risky your business may be, the business launch may be.
And again, and it sounds like I'm pushing your organization, and I am, and that's because you offer a lot of valuable information, and it's already paid for. It's there for you. It's part of what the government of Canada actually does. And the information is extremely valuable. I assume there's some level where you cut it off and say, no, you have to go to somebody that pays, that you have to pay. But I think a lot of information you can get from you.
There's no cutoff, John. But
okay,
keep
there's
pushing.
no cutoff
yes,
now.
No cutoff. There's no cutoff. Like I said, your tax dollars are at work.
John, can I just make a comment?
Sure.
It's Jim here. I'm going to have to jump off the call here shortly. I got to prep for 11, but I just have to say, I mean, I being in the industry, I watch a lot of the local advertising campaigns as they unfold. I have to say, in the year and a half of the pandemic, the one campaign that sticks in my mind is your Jenga campaign. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was everywhere. And then you adapted it for Christmas with the Christmas lights and stuff on it. I'm like, that to me still stands out as the prime example of how this community, pulled together and how led by the chamber. And did it not go broader than Regina, or maybe it didn't?
Yeah, we got $1 million from the province to take it province wide.
Wow. Well, there you go. Didn't know that, but
you didn't even ask for it. We just like, here, do it.
No, it was that's a huge feather in your cap. I think it was, and it still sticks in my mind. Like I said, it stands out as being, and there were lots of COVID messaging out there, but creatively and just and how frequently we saw that those. But obviously, you had a budget to help make it happen. But boy, oh boy, so hats off to you. That's great.
Thanks very much. Really appreciate it, and great to see you.
I will be in touch. I do have to run, and I apologize for that, but This is the way
Sounds
to-
great. Great
All
to
right.
see you. Take care.
Great presentation, by the way. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Great.
Jim. Take care.
Okay, now here's something I think is really, really important, but I don't know if you've kind of caught it. I'm a bit kind of out there at times, and there's a reason for it. And you talked about it at the end, and that is, how important is it to have fun in the office, to sort of, what I tell my staff is, sometimes we get stressed out and what we do is important. And don't get me wrong, it is. And we work hard in trying to, find things that are good for the membership and all of that. But at the end of the day, we do not have the launch codes. And so chill out, let's have some fun, burn off some steam, laugh a little. Once we're at the right place and time, get back to work and get some things done. And even to the point where sometimes we take staff for a half a day just to go have fun. How important is that?
That's all about that, taking care of the whole self, right? Because you're not just the person that you are at work, and things you don't compartmentalize. Well, you could try, but I mean, I don't think you can. Things will affect other things. Things at work will affect things in your personal life, and things in your personal life will affect things at work. So it's really important. And the fact that you spend so much time at work, more so than at home, I mean, it's really important to have that piece of the whole self there at the workplace. Just to speak to that as well, John, too, one of the things that we're doing at Sarita is that what we call Focus Fridays. So Monday to Thursday is like a regular work day. Have you heard about this already? No. Yeah. So for those of you who haven't heard, but Monday to Thursdays, it's a regular work day. We do our tasks, or what I like to call the items on my hot list. And so that's when we schedule our meetings, internal, external, work on the projects and stuff like that. But then on Friday, we take time to focus on ourselves. And Focus Fridays is different for everyone, whether that be focusing on a PD session of some sort, whether it be going to take a fitness class like yoga or something like that, or whether it's just catching up on emails and cleaning out your inbox. It is really all up to you. Whatever you need to do in order to make yourself feel whole again. That's the purpose of Focus Fridays. And what we found, we've been doing this for over a year, what we found is that it's really helped re-energize and refresh everyone. So things like that you can incorporate, not just, of course we have fun too, right? But definitely it is the vital piece in order to make the workplace a happy place, your team a happy place. There's going to be challenges, especially now with a lot of remote teams, right? And I think that's going to continue. But definitely that's still part of who you are, and therefore we need to work that together as well too at the office.
Well, thanks so much. I don't have any more questions, but I do have a comment, and I probably shouldn't make it publicly, but here we are, and I kind of do things off the wall lots. And that is just to say to you that the Regina Chamber is very open to exploring, what else we can do with this partnership. I really believe in what you do is so absolutely vital to entrepreneurs getting into the marketplace. If you don't understand the market, it's going to be a real hard slug. Whereas if you can understand the market, you're going to be in a far better place. So if there's some way that we could, we have an entrepreneurship committee, if we could somehow connect somebody to that committee, that would be wonderful. If there's some way that we could, we should talk about, exchanging sort of links on websites and all that kind of stuff. There might be something there. Anyways, we should we'll talk offline and explore what other partnerships we could have to help entrepreneurs here more in Regina, just to have access to that kind of information. And we are looking at various avenues that we can help entrepreneurs not only through COVID, but also post-COVID, which is hopefully where we're going now. And with that, I just really want to thank you for being part of the discussion today. Really, really appreciate it. And I would look forward to working with you or whoever else it might be in the future to sort of help get the message out on both sides. So with that, do we have a draw, Jeanette?
No, not today.
No draw
That's right.
today?
Darn.
Sorry.
One free report from square one.
Now you'll have to have me back so that we can have a draw.
There you go.
Yes, we will do that. We will find a way that we can continue to work together, because I firmly believe the information that you have is so valuable to people. And I think it's part of what we should be doing as a chamber, is getting the message out that you're around and can help entrepreneurs out there. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a great Regina Day, or have a great Saskatchewan Day. Woohoo!
There you go.
Woo.
And yeah, it's pre-Friday, right? Or is there, what's that term called? Let's
Happy
celebrate.
Friday Eve.
Happy Friday Eve to y'all, and take care. And it's a long weekend too. Have a great long
Oh,
weekend.
yes, it is. Thanks,
Take care.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.